Evening, everybody. Hey, Micro, John, Miles. Yeah, back again, Miles. Hey, hey, WCR. I don't seem to recall your name. Welcome, if you're new. Hey, PR, Andrew. Yeah, I just need to clean up the crap that I left from the previous job. Let's hope we don't make as many mistakes with this one as we did with the previous one. And I also did manage to fix the bug that I had in Flexboard View. Just so happened that the ImGUI library had updated a version that now had a integrated log window, so you could actually see what was happening on its side of things. And as soon as I fired that up, I saw an error message come up, and I didn't quite know what it was from, but at least it was a bit of guidance. And then when I sort of did a couple more little things, what do you know, found the fault. So very happy about that. Alright, we're just going to clean up the bench a little bit. Hey, Diatom. So no more crashing. In the end, the fault was because what was trying to happen, well, Flexboard View was trying to tell me that it couldn't find a PDF for that board. But as it was, I had inadvertently changed the name of the window, the dialog that handles the error reporting. And when the ImGUI engine tried to launch or make that particular window visible, it was like, nope, that window doesn't exist. And that's why it was failing. As to why it killed the menu, I'm not really sure, but it doesn't really matter. Okay. Okay, so we've got a leg and battery fix here. We've already fixed the actual main fault, the electronics fault. Hey, Ron Rogers. So unfortunately, we actually have to disassemble this again. Like I said, it was fixed, and I notified the client, and then they asked for a few more improvements. So I thought, sure thing, we'll get that done for you. Having a good debugging system goes a long way towards retaining your sanity. And it was one of those bugs that I actually couldn't find using GDB or DDD or any of those sort of things. And I can see why. But like I said, thankfully we did get to the bottom of it. Alright, I've got to decide whether I'm going to do this with or without the logic board in it. You can do it with the logic board in, if you're careful. The biggest, scariest part of doing battery replacements on these machines, particularly being the 2015, is of course if you do anything at all to the screen, you basically, you're going to have a big debt to pay. Because the screens on these are insanely expensive. I mean, and it gets worse with every passing month or year or whatever you want to say. So yeah, clearly at some point I had changed the title name of the window, and that's, I just didn't pass that through. It's a bit of a sort of omission, as it were, with the, you can't test that in the compiler stage. There's no real way of knowing, because the compiler doesn't know what ImGUI is doing, and ImGUI doesn't know what I'm doing. Right. Hey Shad, is that like dereferencing a garbage pointer? It's more like following a garbage pointer, really. But yeah, similar sort of effect, I suppose. The with ImGUI, the title is the ID, and you can have multiple windows or dialogues with the same title, and you just suffix them with a non-displayed parameter. Because yeah, I mean there can be plenty of times where you end up with you would need to name multiple windows with the same title for whatever reason. Anyway, so ImGUI does handle that. It's just, yeah, there's no error report that I know of. Maybe there is, I'm just not aware of it, where it will say this window doesn't exist. Instead it just stop the menu. Undefined behavior, I believe it's referred to as. Anyway, found and fixed. The proper way to get around that issue is to predefine your titles and then just use the predefinition of the title rather than the title. If you know what I mean. It's like hash defining it rather than typing it out manually each time. And that would eliminate that risk. Okay, what are you doing, Paul? Yeah, you didn't know what you're doing, then you almost caused trauma. Now, I gotta be careful here because the last time I got a bit cocky with this, I took a solid chunk out of my finger and that hurt. Apparently fingers don't like having chunks taken out of them. Hey Toby and Ed. Miles, that's why I did the wipe down. And I mean, you could be right, but you mean like that one there? Yeah, I'll put down paper anyway. I wasn't moving the unit around much, but it ain't takes one squiggly stuff up. There you go. There you go, Miles. You don't have to call O anymore. No heart attack coming for you. Hey, full wave. Lewis would be happy. Why would Lewis be happy? What are you talking about? You mean with the software? Lewis is like 10 versions behind. He doesn't get a say in anything these days. The real risk when you're doing this is that when you break through moment, so like when you actually do get through all the adhesive and then you just slip forward, that's the moment when you take the chunks out of your body. Nah, we're good. Yes, Lewis is a Texan now. Soon he'll be claiming everything's bigger in Texas than it is in Australia. I'll have to show him a video of a kangaroo jumping in front of a car on the screen, on the car screen. and say, crikey, did you see that grasshopper? Literally, a kangaroo is a grasshopper because it hops through the grass. So it's a grasshopper. This one didn't come off as cleanly as the other ones, so I'm going to have to work a little bit harder of getting the adhesive off. Hey, Pro Engineer. Are all 6 of those blocks, there's 6 blocks are there? Yeah, they're all individual lithium cells. So they are of different sizes, but that's okay because they just put them in parallel. So it's a 2S pack, from what I can determine, and yeah, they're just in parallel. Because if you got them in parallel, if the cell capacities are different, that doesn't matter because you're tracking the voltage, and their respective internal resistances will, you know, only draw sort of like what they're required. Yeah, everything keeps in check. But if you put them in series, different capacity packs in series, then you're going to run into trouble. I could be wrong. I'll have to. Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time I'm wrong. Certainly won't be the last. Ach, niemand. I would say a majority of my customers now are moving away from these machines. They're all moving to the M1s. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to decide whether I should spend the money and get a couple of locked 2021 machines. The MacBook Pros. We don't have board views and schematics for them yet, but I'm contemplating spending the money so that I can at least get ready for when the board views and schematics turn up, and then I'll be able to do all the diode mode measurements, things like that. So the machines apparently work, but they're just locked, which does kind of make me wonder about how that happened. Sometimes people do genuinely forget, or it can sometimes come from deceased estates. But I do need to get my hands on them. Any progress? Kristen, I'm actually just still waiting on the logic boards. I'm waiting for the arrival of the batch of 20 logic boards, circuit boards that have the new combination chip sizes on it. So like I've got, will accept either the SO8 or the SO23-8 chips all on one board, and fixes the address pin issue that we had on the first prototype board. But they would probably be at, I'm going to guess, 2 weeks away. Not much I can do until they arrive. I mean, sure, I could start building some using the original boards that have the, these boards here, and they've got the address issue that I've got to fix with the bodge. Mind you, I've only got 5 of those anyway. So I may as well just wait for the proper ones to turn up, confirm that they're working fine, and then I can tell the circuit board factory to go ahead and do the assembly of, I don't know, have to get an idea of the cost, but I'm guessing I should be able to get 100 done up front. That'll probably cost me, yeah, probably a good $1,000 or more. Hey there, Pedro. Yeah, Miles, that's about the price I'm looking at, and that's US too. They're in the A1 grade. Yeah, they look pretty good. But I'm a little, yeah, I sort of want to go for them, but I also have slight reservations. I gotta admit, most of the ones I see on eBay, they're still, mind you, they're not locked, but they're still like 16 to 2,000, yeah, $1,600 to $2,000. Toby, yes, I am going to be selling the USB-C meters. I do not know the cost yet because I don't know what it's going to cost for me to get them manufactured. And I'm kind of still not sure what I'm going to do about housing. I could leave it just a plain circuit board like it is, maybe do a shrink wrap around it. Or I can see if there's an option for some sort of casing. By the way, Miles, I'm talking about the whole machine, not just the logic board, of course. iCloud unlocking with a BridgeOS hack. Question is that a perpetual unlock, or is that just going to be until someone tries to iCloud activate them again? I'm always a bit dubious about claims of unlocking. It's been a few times where there's been a claim of unlock, and then you find a little while later, all of a sudden that machine is locked again because Apple decided to catch up on something. Nusacat, yeah, there's a few people who are actually offering to start making cases or design a case for themselves or whatever. It wouldn't be anything that I would personally take on, as in, if they designed one, and I wouldn't really be getting involved. It's just a case of they want to manufacture, kind of like with Raspberry Pis, where there's a lot of different cases you can buy, but it's not actually the Raspberry Pi Foundation that is taking them on or anything like that. Sort of like a third-party market, as it were. Where's this new battery? Oh, right next to me. This is the most strenuous part. The most anxiety-inducing part of installing these batteries. Getting them into the case without effing up the alignment. What doesn't help is when this top layer is actually inhibiting their ability to sit down for the proper alignment. Oh, for God's sake. Might have helped if I put the speakers back in first. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, RTC. Ah, you go there. Now, this dreaded screw. Never lose this screw from the battery. Ah, it's an absolute schlep if you should lose this screw. Yeah, it could help if I can get it in. Come on. There we go. Yeah, there's this one screw that holds that controller section of the battery to the chassis. It's not like any other screw on the board. And if you lose it, well, let's just say it sucks to be you. Sort of sang in the tune of Harry Connick Jr. It sucks to be you. And we'll leave it at that. Right. Oh yeah, the dreaded 2015 overlength flex. Jolly good. Come on. I gotta sneeze. Right, hope you all enjoyed that. I didn't. Oh, no flames come out, so that was good. Okay, so that's that portion done. I guess. Wow, goobers flying everywhere. Yeah, it's like the young one's sick day. And if you don't know about the young ones and the sick day episode, then shame on you. Yeah, Miles, they must have decided we went too far, back up. And so now they're backed up too far. Now, see the channel's degenerated again. Mind you, I shouldn't say again. I guess it's always been degenerative. Anthony gets it. Good job, Anthony. That's a classic episode of The Young Ones. It's like, Vivian, I'm drowning in here, Vivian. I laughed so much at that episode, I'm surprised I heard any of the dialogue. Hey, Greg. I actually do have to go blow my nose before I need a black garbage bag over my head with a couple of 6-inch nails. You like the University Challenge episode? Yeah, I remember that one. Wasn't that all on some great big Twinkie or something? I can't remember the specifics. The Young Ones was something from the 1980s. It's just a British TV series. Perhaps a little misinterpreted sometimes. Certainly created its own degree of outrage for its time. Not as old as the Goodies, but yeah. It sort of was out around about the same time as the Kenny Everett show, video show. Now that was controversial. I don't know what my parents were thinking letting me watch that. I don't think they actually even realised what I was watching. It was like, well, it's being displayed during the kids' afternoon hour sort of time, so it can't be too bad. And in hindsight, as I got older, I realised, crikey, what are my folks doing letting me watch Kenny Everett show? Hey, Indy. Yeah, that's the one. Funnily enough, though, they wouldn't let me watch Monkey Magic. They're like, no, we don't want you watching that. Just encourage you to be violent. But yeah, oh yes, yeah, no worries. You want to watch Battlestar? Not Battlestar. Battle of the Planets? Sure thing. You want to watch Kenny Everett video show? Sure thing. You want to watch Astro Boy? Sure thing. Yeah. But Monkey Magic? No siree. None of that. Not in this family. Only Fools and Horses. There. That's what is it? Didn't that have what's his name out of Vicar of Dibley? The one who likes man and horse. Oh yeah, the other thing, I would get to watch the two Ronnies. That was always a bit of a interesting watch. Some very dubious skits that went on in that show. Not that one long running series, The Worm That Turned. Yeah. Crazy what they got away with back then. Didn't get to see Benny Hill. I didn't really find myself taking to that. I sort of knew it was playing just from that music, but I didn't actually watch it. Probably a good thing. Open All Hours, definitely watched that. I didn't realise how old those shows were until I saw the young actors in those shows, in current shows, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's like half a century that's gone past. Kind of scary. I used to watch the surgery shows all the time. Sit there, forgetting to blink, forgetting to close my mouth. Just watching people getting diced up on TV. But it turns out I ended up being a better patient than I was a doctor. And my sister became the nurse. We actually have a lot of medical people in our sort of family, but not me. Beyond 2000, yeah, well, towards 2000 originally. Okay, let's see if this charges. You're not going to be able to see the screen too much. Okay, we get our MagSafe out. Let's see if this goes. Micro time? In 1 minute it is. Got a bomb. I have to get 2 bombs? Or did I just falsely hear the first one? MacGyver has a new girlfriend every episode. Interesting. Didn't know that. Oh, of course you can't forget shows like Knight Rider. Crass as it was. 2 bongs. And there goes the micro. Stop. Okay, we're showing 46% battery, 3.5 amps almost. It's going to shut down. Yeah, I'm not sure. It might have done the MV reset because of the battery change. Dong dong. Come on, shut down. I'm going to shut down and put my test system in there. Ugh, nee, not this crap again. Man, this thing is charging like a lawyer riding a wounded bull. In terms of violent but predictable template-based violent shows, you can't forget the A-Team. Like, man, that was formulaic as hell. And yet, they got pretty good ratings. Batman here in Australia, the original, well, the 60s one, that mostly showed during the day. So we didn't really see it much, or I never really watched it much. Um, Probably when I was sick I would see it, that was it. Honestly though, when I was sick I would more watch the ABC for their educational shows. Like how to get out of school, how to make $1 million, how to bury the victims of your crimes. And then, of course, horrible shows like Young and the Useless or Old and the Useless would turn on, and then I would leave. Happy Tree Friends. Man, you don't. Happy Tree Friends. Am I getting that crossed over with Friends of the Forest, which one of those shows is a profoundly violent. Oops, that was no good. Profoundly violent cartoon set where pretty much every single character in there gets killed in horrendously terrifying ways. Greatest American Hero always annoyed the hell out of me. I think maybe I wasn't old enough to appreciate what tact it was taking, and I was more expecting this guy to, be able to do his superhero things properly from the outset. Instead, he was just a constant stuff up as he bumbled his way through, and that just drove me insane. Alright, why are you sluggish? You're picking up now. Maybe it's the stick getting a bit sluggish. Aliens or Predator? Probably Aliens. Predator. I mean, Predator as an original movie was good, but Aliens was particularly good. Okay, so we're just going to run that while I go deal with Micro. Alright, here we go. So that is charging, it's running at about the right rate, so I think we're all good. Plug a chipmunk in so I can see when it actually has turned off. It's very handy having the chipmunk, because even though the screen and everything else is off, it lets you know that the machine's still running. Hey Tony Nash. Just sort of trickling by, trickling by. Okay, now it's off. And that can go into the shelf, sit on its feet for a while. Hopefully they'll compress down nicely, and we should be good. Now, there was something else I was supposed to be doing. Well, to be fair, there's a lot of things I should be doing. Like emptying the trash. But, what was there? I feel like there was something specific that I was going to be doing. Or maybe I've already done it. Oh yes, of course, now remember. Alright, we're going to do a migration. This person's been waiting a very long time for this, so good opportunity for me to get it done. So a while ago we had a 1286 2012 model, and we determined the PCH was starting to fail, so we're going to walk away from it. But the customer decided, you know what, they'll take the gamble, get a new logic board, and go from there. So we're going to do a migration now. Hey there, Jim. Yeah, Jim, another couple of days and hopefully you get a decent payment with your YouTube. Hopefully. What number am I after? 1412. Hey JMC, recently opened older iMacs for upgrades, 2013, 21, 27. Oh, wait, 2012 and you had that issue of the 27 inch? Interesting. Jim, usually the 21st. 21st. Okay, well I guess the first thing I'll do is mark this one to say this is new. We don't want to get them mixed up. Whoops. Then you've been updating your Mac Air. Is that the 1466 that I sent you? It's stuck on 1 minute left. Sounds like they've got a bad case of being infected by Microsoft style update computing things. Give it a while. Sometimes you just reset them. Still, it's a little weird. Do I need the heatsink on? I do. Damn, that cheap, they didn't even send me the heatsinks. Okay, if it's been ages, then probably can't hurt to reboot it. Gotta love the sound of spring-loaded screws being undone. Okay. Shud, you actually having to work for a living? Ugh. The humanity of that. Unacceptable. Jim, you can post your channel link if you want. The only reason I haven't posted is because I'm too slack to find it and post it. I know you can do it in an instant. Let's compressed air that. Go talk to HR. Yeah, they'll sort it out. I'm always a little bit dubious about taking on, you know, refurbished logic boards like this. I gotta say though, when it comes to reclaiming warranties and things like that with AliExpress, it's usually pretty good. Usually. Right up until the time it's not. What's going on? Man, I'm almost out of this paste. Good thing I've got 3 other tubes. Oh, Jimbo, no, that's fine. I don't mind. All good. No dramas on my side. Reboot did the job? No worries. Yeah, I don't know why it does that very infrequently, but I have had that happen. And I just give it a kick in the guts and it seems to come alright. Yeah, Miles, I'm the same. I found that generally AliExpress is more responsive in that respect. Not to say that I want to have to rely on it, but it does seem to work out in my favour more often than not. It's probably why Pedro would never sell on AliExpress, because every time, you know, he scams someone, which is 110% of the time, he'd have to pay it back with penalties. Hey, Jessica Ryan. Alrighty. Stick some RAM in. Ach nee, do not, I was going to say, do not bugger up that slot. Okay. The fans could do with a bit of love though. Might do it in front of the filter. Just give that a bit of a compressed air shot. Greg, I've noticed on Twitter that you seem to run into a lot of disputes with them. What do you think that is? It's just pure bad luck or something else? Do you think it's a magnetic personality? Oh, Miles, Pedro, he actively encourages that kind of reputation. In fact, he gets upset if you do not encourage that kind of reputation. If you try to say that he's a nice guy or whatever, he gets upset. So I strongly recommend continuing on with putting him down whenever you can. He loves it. He's fueled by that. Gets him up in the morning. And he needs something to get him up in the morning because, you know, he's a retired old codger now. So he's, yeah, got to find that spirit to pull the covers off and feed his kitty cat and all that sort of stuff. I'm not exactly sure where he started with that I scam you thing, but he, like I said, he certainly doesn't stop you from using it. And he does harass a lot of people for, what about getting old computers or fixing computers. You've seen him yelling at people on YouTube and Facebook, Facebook mostly rather. This is definitely not one of my favourite ones for trying to stop the damn cables getting underneath there. Ugh. So what were they thinking when they designed this? Oh wait, yeah, they were thinking, hey, we're Apple, we can do whatever we want. But I mean, from an assembly perspective, it's like, I don't know, how do they decide that? It's like, well, sir, that design is going to really irritate the users, but it's going to take an extra 15 minutes on the assembly line, which is going to cost us $250 million. What do? They go, nah, that's worth it. We can take the $250 million. It'll be worth it to see the people squirm. Hey there, Defcom, how's it going? Anything new and interesting on your side? Here I am handling something that's literally 10 years old. You know what? Out of context, that sounds very bad. So fortunately, we're talking about computers. Okay, I need to get some screws into this so that I can get the alignment right. And hope that I have not forgotten something. Like an iPad screws or something. Man, that was painful this afternoon doing that. Wrong one. There we go, you're the right one. It's funny, overall these boards have a bit of a higher part population density than the new ones. But yeah, they're not as complicated in many ways. That said, I still do prefer the more modern machines in general. In general, there are exceptions. Like, I mean, the 165 or the 3437, that pretty much is the ideal kind of machine board density and things like that. Got an email from eBay saying the ultrasonic cleaner I got is not to be used. Oh, great. Ooh, that's no good. Which one did you get? Well, that's no good at all. Arnold, were you trying to be punny then? I think Arnold was trying to be punny. Ach, nee man. So Jimbo, yes, I had a thumb screw roll off the table. Heard it, saw it fall, haven't found it. Yeah. See, a you just finished repairing a 2013 Retina. What was wrong with it? 2013 Retina. What was that, a 1425? Did you torture yourself with the 1425? Did you really? Or was it something more sane like a 1502? Hopefully it was that. Okay, I am missing a retainer plate. Ah, thank God I found it. I was panicking thinking it was on the underside here. It just would have been iPad all over again. Got a bunch of 13-inch 2011s. Oh wow. 2011s. Ugh. You can keep those. Yes, and you enjoy what they bring. Are you talking about the MacBook Pro or the MacBook Air? Because I suppose the 13-inch 2011s, they're perfectly fine. If the 15-inch, obviously, you know, with the screen up, the GPU fix, that's okay too. Right, I guess we'll plug the power in and see if this thing whirs. Dunk dunk. A letter from the Australian government demanding a recall. Seriously? Wow. Okay. That's news to me. A bit annoying when you get caught up in that sort of stuff because it's like, ugh, man, you know, can't I just live with it and just avoid whatever it's going to try and do to me, like kill me? I hate doing recalls. Oop, wrong hole. Looks like some screws are mixed up on this. Like I think they're from different machines. Because so far as I recall, all the screws, barring these three are long, and the rest all have a fixed length. But there's a couple here that have slightly longer length than the others. Fortunately, we have all the screws placed in correctly. Hey, at least the feet for this are intact. It's better than the other one. Oh, it's crazy to think that got the 17-inch version of this too. Alrighty, that goes in there. Let's see. Let's see if my MagSafe 1 even works. Oop, there it goes. Okay, that's good. It's bringing up my options. That's a good start. There's secret messages hidden among the scratches on the underside of this thing. It's like when they hide secret messages in JPEG images, or 3D art and things like that. You know, those 3D art images where it looks like just noise, TV noise. So DefPom got given a 6S Plus a couple of days ago. Parts are on today, screen, battery, charging port. I hope it is an iCloud lock. Yeah, that can be a real pain, DefPom, when that happens. I've got a box here full of phones that customers have like given me or just yielded to me. But as soon as I try to get the iCloud data to get it to unlock, they're just like no answer, no responses, and it's a real pain because it's not that's the 6S Plus. That's a perfectly good phone still, and in the end, there's nothing you can do with it. So it's very frustrating. Okay, we're booted. Now what would happen with this machine is it would run okay for a while, and then other times it wouldn't boot, then it would run okay again, and it was somewhat intermittent. And that's what led me to think that, okay, it's probably the PCH beginning to fail on this. Because over the history of me doing these videos, you've probably found that I've had a number of 3330s that have the same sort of issue. Oh shit, no, don't you dare. You just dropped dead out on me. It's doing that crap. What the hell? That is not a good thing. Whole new mainboard. The way it dropped out like that, it's almost like the battery gave up. If it was the BIOS and serial, I would kind of expect it not to load as quickly as it does. I have a feeling this is probably battery. One way I can find out is disconnect the battery and just run it as is. And see, it's showing 57%, but oh no, that's no good. Okay. It just glitched graphics issues on me. At least I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, there were graphic artifacts on that just then. Like, blocks and things like that. Yeah, no. This logic board is no good. Crap. Alright, well, here we go. I'm going to have to now claim an AliExpress. God damn it. It's another chipset gone. And this is why I generally don't do these sort of things, because this is exactly what you get. Yeah, they'll test it to the point, okay, it boots, it's good, ship it. But under extended testing, this is the crap that's going to go wrong. So it looks like I'll be sending this one back. This is going to be fun. So what do these ones use, the NVIDIA or the ATI? I think these use the NVIDIA. Mind you, it got to the boot stage, so that would have been the Intel chipset and not the NVIDIA. Yeah, these ones use the NVIDIA. But when it's in that initial boot stage, not the initial boot stage, once it's logged in like that, it should only be using the Intel until you actually load up something that needs the GPU. As far as I understand anyway. So yeah, just another crapped out chipset. Now, I'm just going to have to message the person and say, look, we tried a new board, it hasn't worked out, and now we're just going to have to wait longer. Yeah. That's annoying though. Yeah, because we've already waited quite a period of time to get this, and now it's no good. It's unfortunate because yeah, you want to give it a shot. You want to help people extend the life of their equipment, but then you also know in the back of your head that this sort of thing is highly likely. And I do recall, like, when I was talking to the person about this, I said, it's very likely that they're going to also have chipset faults. And they were fine. They were like, let's just take the gamble. And I was like, all right, okay, we can do that. But yeah, I think this is going to be the case of almost all the 333Os that I get. Even if they last 6 months, they're probably all just about going to have the same problem within the next 12 months, if nothing else. I am not going to get the money back for this board as a parts board. As a parts board, you'd be lucky to get $25 for this thing, which is considerably less than what I paid for it. So now we're going to find out just how good the AliExpress situation is going to be. Tips for selling old Mac for parts. Except the fact that you're really not going to get a lot of money for them, simply because of the risk factor. Like I said, this is 10 years old, and it seems like all of these 333Os that I'm encountering are suffering this sort of thing. Boards like the 13-inch 820-3115, those sort of boards, they have a better sort of staying power. But it seems like most of these 15-inch ones are just dying. Interestingly though, the 2011 probably still keeps going now that we've got the GPU fix for it, the muxing fix. Let's just sell it on I'll get 300 temporarily off eBay, and then they will put a claim in and I'll lose 310, and I'll lose reputation. Yeah, Greg, that's probably how it's going to roll. Very probably is going to be like that, Greg. A few times in the past when I've had issues, they've just refunded and told me to bin it or whatever. But I like it how they run from the dispute. They're always like, cancel dispute, I will fix. It's like, you mean you'll buy time for yourself? Yeah. I mean, I get it. They don't want to have those disputes against their name. I get that, but it's frustrating as hell. I'm just going to visually check this board, see if anything shows up. Hey, bro. Trot out the COVID card. Yeah, it's always a good one. They get to do it too, being over in China. Okay, let's have a looky-loo. So what have we got? 2022, this is July 26th, so they probably stuck that sticker on it just as I ordered it. Looks like it's had multiple stamps there. There's a couple of different stamps there. It may be just that they're passing it from one factory to another, or one supplier to another, and they just stamp it accordingly. I'm just trying to see if there's any signs of corrosion rework. I don't think I will find any, but gee, they love their stamps. Stamp on it. I already have. Yeah, my stamp's on it now. See, my secret stamp is there. Okay, remnants of the original thermal transfer compound there. And that looks like that's been changed. Arnold, that was me. I had the zombie fuse. Yeah, see, they've changed that. At least I don't believe that's original. Which is funny, because that's around the areas that I was digging around with in the past too. Or is it? Oh no, my bad. No. Okay. That's original. I retract that statement. A3X. I'll try it with one memory stick, but it really didn't feel like a memory fault that I saw. But yeah. Can't say I'm surprised. Oh well. Hey Glenn. Okay. Well, I'm signing off for tonight. It's already 11:15, and I need to try and get my sleep patterns back to somewhat normal. But I will recheck this board tomorrow. I'll just stick different RAM in it, try it without the chassis, try it without the battery, just to see if it something I've missed. Because the last thing I want to do is go through the process of doing a recall on this or an RMA, only to find it was my fault. Yeah, that's a bit too embarrassing for me. So yeah, but I'll do that tomorrow. But it's most likely either PCH or GPU glitching. And like I said, I just see it so often with the 3330 boards that I think this definitely cements my mindset of like no more. Pretty much no more. As it is, most of the time I deny now or decline any of these sort of 1278, 1286 type machines for repairs, because you end up, even if you do fix it up now, you find in 2 or 3 weeks something else pops up and then you get blamed for that. So it's a bit of a shame, because they are nice machines to like get some more life out of, but it's becoming a little bit impractical as a business to do it. So anyway, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. I'll catch you later.